Welcome everyone in a new episode. I'm Kamil and today I would like to speak with you about missile weapons in Total War games and why you get them wrong.
Drop it. Yeah.
Let's move to health points and missile weapons. So, what you probably noticed by now is that health points can cause some weird stuff, but they are actually also useful to show how missile weapons work. And they let you to soften up enemy without actual kills on that unit, which, despite how it sounds, might be even better than killing the guys outright. Let's say you have a ranged unit that did like 20 kills, and you might think, well, that sucks, and let's say okay, let's say it sucks, and then you have like a melee unit that killed 40 people, and that's twice as much as they did, so it sounds better, of course. But is it better? Well, we would need to check total health points of that unit, because in case of this 40 kills done by the melee unit, this probably amount of health point is equal to total health points of guys that lost. What happens for missile units? Well, they might have killed 20 people, but they might have also dealt a damage worth of, let's say, 60 killed people. Sounds better? Well, in Total War games, it's probably more like 80. That's because the missile damage is spread across the unit, because you usually don't see like one archer going after one guy. Whatever missile drops, or then to this guy, the calculation for damage is being applied to, and thanks to it we might have like a softening effect on the entire unit. So now when this unit is going to be charged by, let's say, heavy cavalry, well, the effect will be much better than, let's say, charging a fresh unit that had no deaths so far, or maybe that was only in melee. And the same would apply like for this unit that would engage other melee unit. It will be much easier job to kill them off. And here we reach the main issue that Total War players have with ranged units. It's the player's mindset, their worst enemy. Because people focus only on kills. They usually do not check how much damage was dealt. And it's not entirely their fault, because it's usually, in most Total War games, I would say, it's impossible to track it. Luckily, Creative Assembly also noticed this problem, and they actually added this as a feature for Warhammer 2 and probably for new titles also. And you can actually see how much damage was dealt by this unit, and it's also being multiplied by the quality of units. So let's say, of course, 12 kills done on a bunch of peasants won't matter as much as 12 kills done on like, let's say, full-plated knights. So that's good, and hopefully this will help people properly view ranged units. Now, one of the most bizarre I would say examples of how tricky viewing missile weapons in Total War games can be is it's extreme case of it, so don't take it as a standard situation, but the most hardcore example I ever had was in Warhammer 2, when I was able to get a greatsword unit down maybe by like 5 guys being killed, despite around 60 to maybe even 70% of total health points of the unit being depleted. So yeah, if you would just look at the kills in this scenario, you would think, well, that's bad, just 5 guys. Ain't awesome. But 70 or even like this 60% of HP down, that's more than half. So it's actually pretty much means that 2/3 of the unit is badly wounded, and anything will knock them down. Cavalry, infantry, another volley. It's gonna be a hell of a place to be for the guys. Now let's move to the last point, and it's mostly about usage of missile units in Total War games. And this point is especially valid for feedback we get on, or we can see on mods that focus on making combat a bit more realistic in Total War games, at least to the extent that game engine allows to. And yeah, often people who say missile units are too weak do not use them properly. They see a target that has a large shield and heavy armor behind that shield, and they focus everything on the front, and they won't see much effectiveness out of it. It's basically wasted ammunition, because shields in Total War games usually provide a flat chance to block any incoming missile attack, and often these amounts are quite high, like 60-70%. Well, that's a lot, and especially if you have like a heavy armored dude behind the shield, that will be even more effective at reducing whatever range damage is coming on their way. And well, what to do? Flank with your ranged units, or pick targets differently. This is very important, and a lot of people miss it. They just want to put their ranged units behind their main line, fire above the heads, and just, hope that they will do as much damage as they can, which is effectively wasting their ammunition. So what about flanking with ranged units? I also seen some people claim that it's not historically accurate, and it's not a valid tactic, and it's basically cheese. So, is it? No. And did it happen often? No. So what I'm onto is that it is a valid tactic that is even mentioned in ancient combat manuals. For example, on Asander in his Strategicos, you can read that putting your ranged units behind your main line is a waste, because they won't be able to do much from that place, and they should be instead put to flanks. They should skirmish in front of your main line, of course, before main battle starts, but then they should retire to flanks and basically act as a support for your cavalry force. Want more examples? Christian archers. They were placed on flanks, and they acted as a support for cavalry units. They were pretty effective because, contrary to what often video games show, ranged units are a great counter to cavalry. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If something was not clear during my mad Slavic rambling, drop a comment and let me know. I'll try to reply best I can, maybe even provide some additional sources. And if you really like this video, like it, subscribe to the channel, maybe even share with your friends.